Here we are. We are actually live on Facebook right now. So, welcome to all of our Facebook friends. This is CDNY-Live, and we have a great band for us tonight, Grand Picnic, and they're going to play wonderful music for us starting right now. bravo. What a great way to start our evening tonight, Grand Picnic. Thank you guys so, so much. That was totally amazing and totally like electric and enlivening, and you just couldn't help but just like feel terribly happy. So thank you so, so much.
Well, thank you.
Welcome everybody to CDNY-Live. My name is Cynthia Shaw, and I'll be hosting tonight's event. What a great year we've had this year with CDNY-Live, because I'm sad and sorry to say that tonight is our final CDNY performance. It's very sad, but we've had a great year, and we look forward to finally getting be able to be together and to dance together and to see each other in person. So even though it's a sad evening for us, we get to celebrate with Grand Picnic, and we also get to celebrate the fact that we get to see each other soon again. So tonight, as I said, we had Grand Picnic. The members of Grand Picnic are Marco Brehm, Michael Gorin, Jody Kruskal, Sam Zygmuntowicz, and their special guest tonight, Jack Devereux. Thank you all for such a great, lively opening to our show. And in true CDNY tradition, Grand Picnic, for many, many years, I don't even know how many years it's been, opens the dance season for CDNY, and then oftentimes also closes the dance season. So it's perfect that they're at our final performance tonight. So thank you guys so, so much. Now, in addition to Grand Picnic, we have our messy kitchen chef, Annie Edden, who will show us some outdoor grilling techniques. Our favorite piano teacher, Dr. Ivory von Tickle, the perceptive piano teacher, will help pianist Chip Prince play octaves. And there, of course, will be all sorts of other surprises. So stay tuned. Now, CDNY-Live is sponsored by Country Dance New York at www.cdny.org, where you can also make a contribution in support of this program, as well as many others offered by CDNY. We thank them and our numerous donors. Without them, this program would definitely not be possible. Now, during the show, everybody will be muted. We are live streaming the show on Facebook. Hello, Facebook people. And this performance, along with all of the rest of the CDNY Live performances, are archived on the Facebook page, as well as the CDNY YouTube page, where you can also find other contra dance videos, English dance videos, all sorts of stuff. So make sure you check out and subscribe to the CDNY YouTube page. Now, if you're having any trouble on Zoom, please put a note in the chat box and somebody will help you. Speaking of the chat box, feel free to comment there during the show. You can comment on the playing, you can comment all sorts of things. There's always some fun talking going on. And if you see someone's name there who you haven't seen for a long time, send them a private chat. There's nothing more wonderful than getting a little note from somebody on chat on Zoom. All right, excuse me. Now for the fun stuff. If you could give a gift to someone you know has had a hard time during the pandemic, what would that gift be? Let us all know in the chat. And as you're thinking about that person, why don't you actually think about maybe actually giving them that gift? So let everybody know. All right. So right now we have a song called The Raven. It'll be a video, but Jody Kruskal will talk about this for a second. But this video we want to sing along to, but it's also about going to camp this summer. And I sort of want to remind everybody that camp is open and to please go. So Jody, tell us about your song, The Raven, and then Galen will play it for us and we will all sing along.
Well, yeah, sure. So the Raven was performed at Pinewoods Camp for a skit at Campers Week. And I know that Michael's going to be at Campers Week this year, and I'm going to be at Mad for Trad Week, which is a Pinewoods week. But anyway, there we all were, and we were the Janssen Brothers Swedish Family Orchestra, and we had to put a skit together. And Sam
from Sweden.
From Sweden. And Sam came up with this idea what was the idea that you came up with, Sam?
Well, the Janssen Brothers concept is from a simpler time. But this song is, there's poetry that I grew up that I loved, and reciting poetry is really just not such a thing anymore, especially old poetry. So what you can't do seriously, you can still do in fun. So this is a setting of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, which is actually very much my working style. So, so we're gonna, without further ado, I think you can take it away.
Roll tape.
Sing along, everyone.
Who's rolling it?
So.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I cried, tapping at my chamber door. My son
awfully fun song to to sing along to. Quoth the raven evermore. I just love it, you guys. That was fantastic. Oh my gosh. How is it seeing that for you guys? Have you seen it in a long time?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
That was really funny. That was fantastic. So I would like to introduce Grand Picnic to you. New York City's high-energy contra dance band since 1986 combines the rhythmic drive of old-time Southern fiddling with traditional New England and Quebecois tunes and band member original tunes, which I believe we will hear some tonight. Because Bill Peake, who usually plays piano with Grand Picnic, could not be here, they are happy to have Jack Devereux join them on guitar. So I invite you guys to play your first dance set, and if you'd like to say anything about the tunes that you're going to be playing, or just play ahead and then whatever, it's up to you.
Well, we'll just give just a few words about the tunes. I mean, one of the things about playing traditional music is a lot of it comes out of experiences that are different than ours. So I like to write tunes that reflect our own life, and this is from a little different time in New York, but the tune's called Brooklyn Whippoorwill. And the Brooklyn Whippoorwill was car alarms, which were everywhere when I wrote this tune. So that's the first tune.
And the second tune is a tune called Hey for Two, which I wrote in the 1990s when my family had some guinea pigs as pets, and the guinea pigs had a ramp to go up and down and out of their cage, and they would occasionally venture out. They'd walk very, very cautiously across the floor, as you'll hear in the tune, and then very often they'd run into something unfamiliar, a children's toy or a shoe, and they would scamper back into their cage. And you'll hear that as well, perhaps.
And what's the hay? Was that
I'm
their
sorry.
bedding?
Yes, well, yes, they were great fans of alfalfa hay. I know a lot of English country dancers think that that Hey for Two refers to some unknown dance figure, but you can't do a Hey for Two, only 3, 4, 5, etc. But this is H-A-Y, Hey for Two. And the third tune, Sam?
The third tune's called Crossin' the Rockies, and this actually was the first tune I ever wrote long ago, and it was actually written in a roomette on an Amtrak train crossing the Rockies, and so in an old tradition of train songs.
All right.
It starts off with D.
that was fantastic. Oh, everybody's like jumping up and down in their seats. That was wonderful. And I could really see that little guinea pig skimping around, I have to say. And then also, thank you, since I'm from Colorado, having a song about the Rocky Mountains really like makes you feel very happy about that. So that was really fantastic. So thank you guys so much. That was just, again, so wonderful. So
on the map.
what? It puts you on the map?
Put Rockies on the map.
Yeah, exactly. So how was it playing together? Have you guys played together for a while?
I mean, lately, no. You know, Brooklyn Contra has done some jam sessions in the park, so we've seen each other very much in passing, but that's really, this band has not been together, like being together for a good, like, year and a half almost.
Early on, Sam came over to my porch, and we played outdoors with our masks on, and it was such a joy finally to play live again. But to fill the void, I've been playing with my friend Cindy in Pittsburgh almost every night on Jam Kazam.
I know, that's really amazing, Jody, because you were doing that before, I remember. I was like, wow, how fantastic.
It's kept me alive.
Well, it's been really, really great. And you guys, even though you haven't played together, you sound fantastic together. So one would never know.
It's sort of like riding a bicycle, right, Sam?
Well, you've played hundreds of dances. You have a lot of experience to fall back into, so.
Right. Since like 1986, right?
Yep.
Is that what that?
Well, the first dance we didn't even have a name yet, and I think it was like one of those Long Island Syosset dances.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Michael and I were on the phone together trying to pick a name, and we were looking through our bookshelves. I remember one of the runner-up choices was Origami Made Easy. But, and then finally, Grand Picnic is the name of a tune, but it just sounded like a picnic sounds like something very convivial, and Grand is like a big band, which this is a big band, so it's stuck.
Yeah, I think it's a great name. I think it's very catchy, and one remembers it, and I think it's fantastic. So thank you. Well, we will hear more from you guys as the evening progresses, so don't go anywhere. In the meantime, it is time for us to visit the messy kitchen chef Annie Edden and Ring-a-Bells Morris as we see our first video that they created about grilling chicken.
Ring-a-Bells Morris of New York City is America's oldest women's Morris team. Established in 1974, we're coming up on 50 years. So before I do the chicken, I am also grilling some vegetables to go with our dinner. We have zucchini and carrots and some polenta. Chicken has been marinated for, I think 5 or 6 hours at this point. Some of the ring-a-bells have started to marinate too. And I've cooked I've cooked the zucchini, and the carrots are nearly done with some polenta and some tofu. And I'm going to put the chicken, the marinated chicken, on the grill. The grill's on like medium high. The rain has stopped. Yeah. And we had a lovely afternoon of Morris dancing and swimming, some boating. We're making dinner for 10 people. Although 2 are 10 people, 2 are vegetarian.
Oops. Wow, that was pretty awesome. Annie, so where were you cooking?
Uh, Stacy, who's a ring-a-bell, has a house in the Poconos, and she invited us all up for the weekend, and we descended like locusts, except that we brought our own food, unlike locusts.
That was very nice of you to bring your own food as opposed to just going there and like devouring somebody else's food.
Right, so a bit of a lakeside villa, I called it at one point.
Yeah, that was really nice. I have to say, when you said Ring of Bells was coming on 50 years old, my first thought was, wow, they don't look like they're in their 70s or 80s.
Sure. Well, some of us are in our 70s, but join a Morris team and stay young.
What was
Find your Morris team.
Find your Morris team. And I bet Ring of Bells is probably even now looking for members. So in New York, right?
Always.
Always. So if anybody's thinking about trying out Morris dancing or sword dancing, there's sword dancing in New York too. But Morris dancing, you could join Ring of Bells and be in a happy group. So thank you, Annie, and I'm sure we'll see more about this grilling.
I hope so.
As the show goes on. So thank you. Now we have a message from our sponsor, Oompa, the Order of Musical Professionals and Heroes. And I don't think I'll say what the title of this is, but Galen has a video for us. All I'll say is it's an alpaca.
Hello. Just shorn. All right, the alpacas are gonna get some grain. Yeah. Yeah. I got spit in the face by an alpaca.
The Order of Musical Professionals and Heroes, Oompa.
And those little alpacas look so sweet and so innocent. Oh my gosh. Dominique, you were spit on by an alpaca.
Yes, I was glad I didn't get spit on by more than one. After that, I backed up. I just want to say the farmer who is responsible for that is with us tonight, and I don't know his name. He's under the name James. Are you there? As Taurus Stewart. So if they're still on, I don't know if they're still on, but anyway, I told him about making the video, and so I said, oh, are you there? Oh, there he is. This is our farmer. This is Farmer James.
I'm really called Farmer James, but I'll answer to it.
I needed a character name. So there he is. He's renovating this massive barn, and they have an Airbnb as well, a little free shout out to them. I rented just a tent site, but then they have this whole other thing. It's just phenomenal.
Well, thank you for sharing your alpacas with us. They're quite adorable. They have those sweet little faces, but those funny kind of eyes. They look like little slitty eyes or something. Their irises are interesting.
Yeah, they're very alert, and so their eyes are set, quite far apart, and they got quite good peripheral vision. But of course, I knew what was going to happen all the time with the alpacas. So they weren't necessarily going to spit at you, Dominique, but you just happened to get caught in the crossfire.
He said, "Oh, they only spit at each other," and I was like, "I'm not so sure about that." Everywhere.
I think you can put that on your resume, Dominique.
That's going to get me my university job.
That's right. I was spit on by an alpaca, and I survived. I lived through it.
Yep. Well, thank you, James, so much for coming on. It was great to see you again.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. Congratulations. All right, that was fantastic. So I would just like to take a moment to remind everyone that they can make a donation directly to CDNY to support this show as well as other CDNY music and dance programs. The link will be put in the chat, and if you can, give generously and often. All right, now it is time for us to see that crazy piano teacher, Dr. Ivory von Tickle, and see how she teaches a pianist to play octaves. Hello, piano students. I'm Dr. Ivory von Tickle, the perceptive piano teacher. Students, today I have something very special to share with you. I am the Octave Oracle. When I was a young piano student at the Baden Conservatory in Würzburg, I was in my practice room when the Oracle Delphi appeared to me. And she said that she would teach me how to play the perfect octave. And then she demonstrated, and then she touched my head with her golden fingers. And she said, "You are the Octave Oracle." Me? The Octave Oracle? Today I share the gift of the octave with my first student. Chuck. Hello, Chuck.
It's Chuck.
But I see the two little dots over the U, the umlaus.
Umlaus.
The umlaus.
Oh, you mean umlauts? My name doesn't have any umlauts in it. Oh, but I can play this. You say umlaus and I say umlauts.
Oh, stop that silliness. Oh, it's just dirt on the card. The umlaus. But anyway, Chuck,
Today, I'm going to teach you about the octaves, the flying eagle. Now, watch carefully.
Dr. Ivory, I'm a music theater pianist. We play octaves all the time. It's no big deal. The question I have for you is about Sondheim's song Not Getting Married Today. See, I don't know where to breathe.
Breathe? There is no breathing in music.
But in music school...
Chuck, I feel so sorry for you. Your playing is just so embarrassing. It's so musical theater. The flying eagle is the answer. You see how it works?
But Dr. Ivory, my piano teacher at the Juilliard School, Vladimir Horowitz, taught me this way. And I really need to know about that Sondheim. Oh, your octaves kind of remind me of Gershwin's I Got Rhythm.
Nine, I don't know this. I got rhythm. Dr. Ivory got rhythm. Now, Chuck, have you been watching with keen and curious eye? Oh no, I can feel the Delphi in the room. It's happening again, Chuck. I feel the vibration. Do you feel it, Chuck? The vibration of the Delphi.
No, I don't feel anything.
She's here. She's taking me away. I'm being transported. Ludwig, you'll be so proud of me.
Dr. Ivory? Dr. Ivory, where did you go? I paid for an hour's lesson. That's it. I'm just going to have to call Steve Sondheim.
I am the Octave Oracle. I am the Octave Oracle. Thank you. And many thanks to my able-bodied student, Chip Prince. So Chip, how did you think the episode would turn out? Did it turn out like you thought?
It was better than I expected. Oh. And I thought it was going to be pretty funny, but this was, you did some really fun tweaks, which I liked. My acting still stinks, but it was great fun anyway.
999, your acting is just perfect.
I am the acting oracle.
You are the acting oracle.
Bing!
Anyway, it was so fun to have you be my student.
It was fun to be had.
Good. So anyway, thank you all for watching Dr. Ivory, and thank you so much, Chip. Onward and upward for Dr. Ivory. All right, so after Dr. Ivory, I would like to give a shout out to Pinewoods Camp, which is open this summer. So if you're ready to get back to normal life, get out of the city, do some dancing, and hear great music, like the kind of music that Grand Picnic just played, in a beautiful bucolic setting, sign up for camp. Now, we already know that Jody is on staff at MAD for Trad Week, which is sponsored by the Pinewoods Folk Music Club. But not only the Pinewoods Folk Music Club, but cdss.org website. Check it out for a list of all of the weeks and all of the musicians and all of the callers who will be at Pinewoods Camp live this summer. All right, it's time to check in with our messy kitchen with Annie Edden and Ring-a-Bells. So Galen, let's see video number 2 about this cooking chicken.
We kept dancing through COVID on Zoom. 3 new women joined us, learned our dance style, and we even wrote a new dance this year. With bells and hankies or sticks in the Ascot and Ilmington tradition. So it's coming along nicely. We're doing 6 to 8 minutes on each side. And a few pieces are nearly done. Actually, but
Can't hear you.
I know. Anyway, that was so fun. So Annie, you didn't say what the name of the tune was that you all wrote. The new dance, I should say.
We have not named our dance.
Oh.
Zoom jig, COVID jig are some suggested names at the moment, but we're going to see how it feels to dance it out, and then we'll come up with a name. Often the name lags.
Excellent. Well, how fantastic that you got 3 new women within the pandemic. That's pretty impressive.
They're pretty cool women too.
That's fantastic. Anyway, so thank you for sharing that. So we'll see more. We'll see the end result, I would imagine, of this dancing and grilling very, very soon. So thank you very much.
Sure.
So now it's time for our fantastic band, Grand Picnic, to pick up their instruments and play some more tunes for us, which is such a treat and such a joy. So we'll let Jody get into place there and pick up his concertina.
So we're gonna play
There it is. All right, take it away, fellas.
We're gonna play some couple dances for you, starting with a couple of waltzes. The first one is called Boda Waltz. And there's some question whether it's a Swedish tune that came to America by way of Hungary or a Hungarian tune that came to America by way of Sweden. No one's exactly sure, at least in this room. And the second waltz, which we'll go into, is called Ivy Beard. Jody, why is it called that? Jody read the second tune.
Oh yeah, that's a waltz by me called Ivy Beard. And Ivy was a friend of mine and one of my first music teachers. That's his name. First we called him Ivy. And he had a beard. And he was one of the directors of the Chicago Children's Choir, and he was really my first example of musical excellence and persistence and passion. So I named this waltz for him. But first, Boda, right?
Boda first.
Boda first.
What does Boda mean?
I have no idea.
Oh,
It's a region in Sweden.
It's a town in Sweden.
It's a town in Sweden, yes. Schottish. Do you have your dancing partner handy? Let's play.
Wow. It was so hard not to like jump up and start dancing to that. That was just so fantastic. I bet there were people on this call who wanted to dance to that. So that was just so wonderful, and just reminded me of all this, all of the great dancing and schottishing and waltzing and everything. So thank you.
Off camera, Sam's dog Shayna was dancing with Liza.
I know. I saw the dog almost wanted to steal the show.
Yes.
That's a cheap trick, but it works.
She does. She steals it wherever she is.
So I asked you guys all to send me something that people don't know about you. And Sam, I have two things from Sam and Jody, but then I'm going to ask Marco and the rest of you, Jack and Michael. So you have to put your thinking caps on. So Jody, you're playing Punjabi rag with your neighbor. So tell us about that.
My neighbor, Abdul, and he's also called Wahib. He's Pakistani, and I've gotten to know his entire family. I've gone to both of his daughters' weddings. I've never had a neighbor like this before. Oh, your car's broken. Take mine. Just take it. He's incredibly generous, and he's a wonderful musician. He sings, and I can't. I sort of imitate it, but he sings and plays a harmonium. It's a little organ that you play with one hand, and they sing and play this little keyboard in unison. And I've been trying to play the concertina with him. We've been working on Rag Dubari. And if you want to go hear Rag Dubari, go to YouTube, type it in, and maybe Muhammad Rafi, any of these great Punjabi singers. It's sort of a solo tradition, but sometimes they have tabla, and he plays it in the garage, right next to my garage. It's been really fun.
Fantastic! Wow, what a neat experience. That's really so neat. Sam, you are a world-class fiddle maker, violin maker, I should say, and many famous people own your violins. But you said that you won 4th prize at this Galax Fiddlers Convention, so tell us about that.
This was a long time ago when I first came to New York. I just headed south for a vacation, just kept driving. And I wound up at the Galax Fiddlers Convention, which is a really classic old-time music festival. And friends of mine were there, and I just was hanging out. They have a fiddle contest, and if you enter, you get your money back for your admission. But I hadn't registered or thought about it. So they have, like, a lot of people will put fake names on the list. So I competed as Joe College from Rural Valley, Pennsylvania, and won 4th place as Joe College. So I think it's, if you're going to be famous, you may as well be obscure, is what I say.
Well, I hope you have that plaque on your wall with big stars around it. Fantastic. That's such a neat story. So Michael, what about you? What about you? What do you have that people maybe don't know about you?
Well, throughout the pandemic, I've been playing music right along like everybody else, but mostly in my living room for my own amusement, but also for the amusement of my 17-year-old cockatiel. My guaranteed audience of one. And he likes fiddle music quite a bit. He tends to go in his cage and take a nap, get very mellow. But when I take out the button accordion, he doesn't like that as much. And I'm guessing the neighbors don't either.
He doesn't peck at you or anything, does he?
Oh yeah, he'll do various things too. Mostly he screams.
Oh, he screams.
Yes, it's mostly a screaming situation.
I will say that animals can be very particular. Shayna, our dog, I'm in my violin studio right now, and when people start sounding really good, she rolls around on the rug and lets her belly be pet.
Oh. My sister and I used to play flute and piano duets all the time. In fact, at one point I knew like all of the flute literature, but our cat Ginger hated it. And whenever we would start playing, we'd always have to make sure she was outside because she would come and bite my sister on the leg. I guess like, oh, too high for her.
That must make you play sharp.
Well, that's true. Maybe she was playing out of tune. I hadn't thought about that. And Ginger was quite the little critic. So Marco, what about you? What do we not know about you?
Well, my first and only performance on the stage of Stern Auditorium at Lincoln Center Jazz, the new jazz theater at Columbus Circle. After getting off stage, I realized that there had been a huge rip in the ass of my pants. Black pants, I might add. And I finally learned the wisdom of every mother's advice to make sure your underwear is clean in case there's an accident.
I mean, I suppose you could also always wear black underwear, you know, so that if that ever happened again.
That's a new idea, yes. I guess with formal wear, one should wear black underwear. Anyway, I wish you could have all been there.
Well, I hope nobody caught it on YouTube, and you could actually become like a YouTube.
Pre-YouTube.
So were you embarrassed?
Well said. Did you catch that?
So Jack, we don't know you at all, and I'm so glad you're here to play with Grand Picnic. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Though I am holding a guitar right now, I'm primarily a fiddle player, and I'm actually a student of Sam's and work with him making violins. Fun, actually, the studio that I worked in before coming to work for Sam, there was a copy of, the fellow that I worked for was a friend of Sam's and colleague, and there was a copy of a Grand Picnic record there that I listened to on occasion. And now I'm sitting in with Grand Picnic.
Now he's playing, sitting in with Grand. That's like the peak of your professional career.
It's all over. This is it, man. This is over. You've reached the top.
So yeah, excited to get to play. Hopefully for dancers soon. So.
Yeah, well, you sound great. It's really great to have you. You really add to the band. So thank you for being here. So thank you guys so much. It's great to hear you. We'll hear you one more time. We have one more time at the end of our show, so hold tight. We have our final Messy Kitchen video, so we get to find out more about ring-a-bells and see what's happening with that chicken on the grill. So let's see all about that.
We're excited to be dancing again this spring in person. We think that everyone should find their Morris team. A home for your heart, a place for creative expression, a team to dance with. And new members are always welcome on Ring-a-Bells. So find us on Facebook or Instagram. The pieces aren't quite done. I thought they were. Take some of the smaller
Some
pieces
are.
off. Some are. It's tricky with chicken. That one's definitely done. Some people say you can tell chicken is done by it should respond the way your the thick part of your hand responds. Like when you push it, it should come back. It shouldn't like be squishy. It should be firm.
Smells delicious.
And the ring bells are lining up. So here we are, messy kitchen. We have cooked all the food, and ring bells are going to sit down and enjoy. Cheers! 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 Cheers!
That was so lovely. That just brought a smile to my face, seeing you all there together and eating and the final picture. So thank you for sharing that. That was really fantastic, Annie.
You're welcome. It was pretty special.
Yeah. So we are nearing the end of our show. And normally at this moment I talk about final look ahead announcements from CDNY, but if you go to the CDNY calendar on their Facebook, on the web, I can't even think, I can't even talk. Anyway, they have no scheduled events for July and August, but I will say that Brooklyn Contra has a music, they have music in Prospect Park every other Saturday. So I would definitely recommend that you check out Brooklyn Contra's Facebook page. They live stream, but also it's just really fun to go in the park and sit and hear fantastic music. And Sam and Jody and Michael have been there playing actually this summer. So definitely make sure that you check out Brooklyn Contra Facebook page. And I just want to say Pinewoods Camp. Again, I would like to thank our special musicians, Grand Picnic, Marco Brehm, Michael Gorin, Jody Kruskal, Sam Zygmuntowicz, and Jack Devereux. Our messy kitchen chef, Annie Edden, the indefatigable piano teacher, Dr. Ivory von Tickle, and her talented student, Chip Prince, or Chuk, and our producers, Annie Edden, Dominique Gagne, Country Dance New York, and special thanks to our technical director, Galen Kirkpatrick, who is making this all possible and sound fantastic. So we cannot even thank him enough for all of his wonderful advice and everything. So thank you, Galen. And many thanks to our donors and sponsors. So we say goodbye to CDNY-Live. I'm so happy to have hosted for all of these months. I hope everybody has really enjoyed the program. We certainly have. It's been a joy to put together, and it's been lovely to share music and singing and just merriment during these very, very dark times with all of our friends at CDNY and all of the people on Facebook. So thank you all so much for joining us during these months of CDNY. It is time for our final dance party. I know you'll enjoy these lively tunes by Grand Picnic. And if the music moves you to dance, then please, by all means, get up and dance. Let's hear Grand Picnic.
go to hell.
Bravo. Thank you guys. Oh my goodness, that was so fantastic hearing all these great little tiny tunes. Wow. So fantastic. Thank you so much for closing out our show and our season so beautifully and so musically and toe-tappingly. So thank you. Thank you so much to our Facebook people. And thank you for being with us. We will sign off now. Thank you for joining CDNY Live all these months. And thank you to everyone who has enjoyed the show and watched it. So we will go off of Facebook now. So thank you all.